Our first question is, are the President and Vice President, I'm wondering, working with the sanction of Prime Minister Erdogan, because they seem to have a very, very different message?
We don't have that clearly. Most probably they are without sanction of the Prime Minister. But mind you that these two are two important gentlemen. They are one of the 3 or 4 founding fathers of the Justice and Development Party, the AKP. And they are very well respected, highly regarded, and they are influential inside the party and above the electorate. So these are 2 founding fathers who met, and they were equals earlier in between 2002 to 2007. So whatever they say will have an impact of the future politics of the AKP, but also will lead some sort of guidance over what Erdogan has to do from now on.
Okay, so much for the politics, but what about what the protesters do? Will they listen to what they've had to say, and will they be appeased by the words of the President and the Deputy Prime Minister?
President Gül and acting Prime Minister Arınç came one after another. Arınç was rather open and blunt as the press conference developed, and he said several things. He apologized clearly for the police brutality and excessive usage of pepper gas, and also he sent some ambiguous but clearly understood missives to Erdogan for his perceived arrogant speech, and also he raised the possibility of referendum over Taksim building project, and he said that the pepper spray usage would be halted. So these are several messages that went to the public. The question now remains how the Taksim Square and surrounding places will be emptied by the crowds, because people have settled there peacefully, sitting and singing and chanting and dancing, and at some point this area will have to be cleared, and nobody knows how, when, and by whom, and in what manners. This is the question number 1. The second question is, Erdogan is in Morocco, so far keeping silent, and whatever he will have to say will have huge impact on the future of what's going to happen, and we can take it for granted that he is being kept maybe by his advisor under the impression that things are calming down until he returns. Maybe there will be a softer, smoother, more soothed scene, but again everything depends on Erdogan's behavioral patterns.
Did you get the sense that ultimately this is a protest against the Prime Minister, against Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his leadership methods and ideology? I spent long hours in Taksim Square last night, and my impression is very clear. This is a youth movement, leaderless and nameless so far, and peaceful, composed of a very curious blend of people, from Muslim radicals to anarchists and gays, and mainly seculars and liberals, urban youth, that is. And this curious blend is angry with the way they are treated. This is all about human dignity, they say. This is about that they demand respect for what they are, whatever they are. And this is a sort of an apolitical, but also at the same time political way of saying we are here and we are going to live in this town, and we don't like the way Erdogan is patronizing us. More than AKP policies, more than anything else, this city is ours, and we don't like the way these construction projects are being imposed upon the city. And also some Islamist youth that I talked to yesterday pointed out some suspicions about huge corruption that they tied to AKP, particularly in these projects that's emerging now here and there in Istanbul, like bridge, port, etc., etc. So it's a mixed bag of worries and concerns and demands we are speaking about. Okay, Yavuz Bayram, very good to get your perspective. We appreciate that. Political columnist with the daily Today's Zaman.